celebrating life. We are talking about life. And that's the thing that is so crazy to me. We're not in a mall buying clothes. We're not negotiating over a car. We are talking about life.
And and the life you're talking about, you're just making sure that this does not happen.
That's it.
Again, correct.
And if it happens, where's the accountability?
Right.
None.
Where's the accountability?
There is none.
That's what you're saying.
They gutted
We're
this
talking
whole
about
thing.
life.
They did gut
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about life, and we just want to put in place as the new word now is reform.
Yes.
You know, you want to put in place things so one, either this doesn't happen, but if it happens, what is the process?
Right.
Exactly.
No, they gutted.
Well, in my opinion, this was a perfect performance, and this was a perfect representation and the clearest definition of house niggas at work that I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, that was shameful.
Shameful.
But like I said, this place in this county, that shows how the community stands. You know, it's like the community is, to me, it's like the community saying, oh, well, they'll take it, or it's like, oh, it's just another person, they want some money, or, you know, and my issue is, it's not about being mad at someone. The bottom line is, you did things. We're not supposed to get upset about it. No.
Right.
And we're not supposed to talk about it.
We're not supposed
But
to
you've
push back.
done this. This is what you have done.
Yeah.
You know, and like it's not supposed to get out there public.
To me, it's a crime against your own people. I'm gonna be really honest. That's exactly what I think it is. I think it's a crime against your own people, and I don't see how you look people in the face, especially die. Like, I really take offense to the fact that they start making reference to die about the loss of her son that she's been fighting for some 29, 30 years now, right? You sit there and get this whole dissertation, and you turn around, oh, I vote aye.
Well, I know they were not in office when Artie was killed, but I do know that they try to give you lip service. I got no justice. It, what I call Chris George's justice, which is no justice, and I firmly believe that.
You had the nerve to try to say, I was out there with you, so don't try and criticize me for what I'm about to do here. That was crazy to me.
Exactly what he said.
That's what he said.
That's
I was
exactly
like, what?
Bye-bye.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Be safe. And thank you so much for your support. Because she really came here for Pennsylvania. That's
awesome.
Trying not to say anything her husband said, don't say anything, but she carried
After she
everybody.
heard
So
that
I was
craziness,
after
I'm
her.
sure she had to get up and say something.
So when I say if we don't get no justice, we're going to shut it down. If we don't get no justice,
We gonna shut it down.
we don't get no justice.
We gonna shut it down.
We don't get no justice.
We gonna shut it down.
We don't get justice. We gonna shut it down. If we don't get justice, we gonna shut it down.
So can I say something else, guys, after this?
Yeah,
No.
July 19th.
It's time to really strategize. Like, I'm not even playing. We really cannot. This was a kick in our chest, and this was bad. This was really, really bad. But it's time to really dust yourself off. And when I say strategize like nobody's business and come hard, it's no way they should feel comfortable with what they did today.
So what's
Their seats
happening
need
on
to
the
go.
19th? Something's happening on the 19th. What's happening?
Now it's time we vote.
Yeah.
Oh, that vote. I thought it was something else with this. Okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to have to come back to finish up the amendments they didn't finish today. They said they're going to get an AG opinion from the ACC. So it's possible they're not finishing up the bill completely today, so there'll be another hearing, and we'll stay tuned to that. I mean, I walked out, couldn't listen to any more.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What does that mean? If so, they've already voted on what's most important to us, I think.
Well, the bill hasn't fully been voted out yet, so they can still further amend it when they go back. If they don't finish tonight, they can still amend the bill.
So we can still push.
So we can still push for what we want. Is that what you're telling me?
I think so. Until the bill is complete.
Yeah.
Passed.
You're
I mean,
right.
but they
Yeah.
voted on certain things already.
Yeah, well, I mean, we walked out, so I don't know if they finished voting on everything, but they got to the trial boards and they said they'll hold on the ACC.
Yeah,
come
and
back
that was the
after
last
opinion.
thing, the trial board.
I'm not clear if that means they're going to finish voting everything out today and then in another, come back next year and fix it once they get the opinion, or they mean like right now. So that's something we should get clarity on because that lets us know kind of what our that
But
makes sense.
they're waiting for answers from the Attorney General on at least 2 things.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's why I think they're probably gonna come back
Right.
to finish it up.
But did you all hear what was said by Jolene Ivy about the PAB? She literally said when we were on the PAB, you said
Yes.
that the power or what have you was in the ACC or whatever.
You said
And
at
then we
7
got to the ACC, and then you said
Then
that
when
not
you got
about
to the
it.
ACC,
She
you
did.
said, "Oh no,
She did say
power's
that.
not here." Do you see how stupid that sounds?
Yeah,
And this is a
she called
governing
him out.
board.
She called
This
him
is
out.
be she.
called him out.
She
But
gets
we
no love
sent
from
a
me
letter
today.
with
I'm
all
sorry.
of these explanations.
She called him out on that one. though.
And she still voted along with all that
Yes,
other nonsense.
but that's the
She
weakness
gets
I'm
no
talking
love.
about. I don't care. Some people argue, some people debate it, but they still say, okay, I vote aye. I vote aye. I vote aye.
You said that you was almost talking about how they gutted and watered down the demands they asked for. I wonder if you could both even just expand on that, or anyone here just feeling about what happened today with these.
One thing I did hear that I was not agreeing with, that I think just messed up the whole thing, was that they still voted, if I'm not mistaken, to let county exec be the one who chooses the chair. Is that right?
Yes.
That's
So
one
it's a
thing.
5-5. The county exec gets 5 placements, picks,
Yeah,
and
whatever.
then the county council gets 5. But she puts the chair in place, so she is still the deciding factor. That's my whole point. So all of this back and forth was nothing.
It means nothing.
It's the same thing it was the other day. If she had all 11 picks, then she still was the deciding factor.
Right.
Same thing today.
We had 9 county council people. Our suggestion was 1 from each district. So now
2 at large.
you only
And 2 at large.
got
yeah.
5.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Whose community is going to be excluded in
Exactly.
this process?
Exactly.
What kind of
There's
real
gonna
fair
be
representation
four
is there going to
communities
be?
talking about?
excluded out of this process.
Wasn't it Ivy who said that they should have a police officer as a non-voting member?
She
Yeah.
did. She did recommend
then
that
what's
at the
that
end.
going to do? I mean, if they're not supposed to be on the board,
They're
why
not
are you
supposed
still
to be
going
on
to stick
there.
them in there? You know?
Yep.
I think it was the order of police officers they were going to have. When law enforcement, that law enforcement officer would be non-voting.
Right.
Yeah, that's what
but
we're
why is he
saying.
needed?
Yeah.
I mean, if you need outside advice on law enforcement, can't you get it from somewhere else?
They can have
Sure
a
you
consultant
can.
come in. They can
Sure
have
they
money
can.
set
You don't need
aside
to sit
for
on
a
the board to do
consultant to
that.
come in and consult when cases come before them.
And the worst part is they still have the trial board in place. We fought back against the trial boards in Annapolis because they ultimately get to decide whether or not they overturn the administrative charging committee's findings. So there's still an opportunity. Police still have a role in this entire process. They're at the end of the process after somebody is found
Right.
innocently charged or not, but they can completely overturn that process with a judge that is appointed by the county executive and a police officer that's appointed by the chief.
Yep.
So the fact that they are adamant about putting them on the PAB as well and influencing them, which also influences the membership of the ACC because they appoint the majority of them, is absolutely ridiculous. And we sat here, like you said, gave them a history lesson on where that county is currently at, how they failed, and they decided let's continue to fail.
Let's keep doing it. Let's keep failing.
And let's
Because-
allow our people to continue to be brutalized, continue to be killed, and continue to be falsely charged and harassed.
Yep.
That's what they just did today.
What are your thoughts about the investigatory powers and what was decided there in terms of the amendments?
The whole point of them being able to conduct investigations, and I think the most valuable part, is so that the ACC does not have to depend solely on internal affairs investigations. As long as the PAB has investigatory powers, at this point, as they've currently amended the bill to, they'll only be able to really do investigations after a complaint investigation is completed. So they're doing investigation after the fact.
So what's
after the
the
decision has already been decided, they're reviewing and then doing some additional investigations. We want to influence the decision before they actually decide discipline, so we can have some influence on how they're whether or not they're held accountable. But that's not the process that we got, and we already still have to deal with the trial board. So this is the very least that they could do because that's not on them. We have the trial boards because of the state bill, but they could have done what they were able to do up until this point, and they didn't. And what makes me sick is, like Don said, the comments about Miss Dot and all of you, and I'm sorry for your loss and everything like that. How sorry could you be to not have any action to follow up with your words? You all deserve more than thoughts and prayers. You deserve action and bold leadership, and that's not what we got today.
They don't
At
want to
all.
get it right,
No
no matter what
leadership.
they said. We're going to get it right. And I don't believe that.
You haven't gotten
that
anything
wasn't
right.
their intent.
It wasn't.
So there will be no investigatory powers anyway.
Who what?
Except
Oh,
for
Ed
from
Burns.
the-
I love
is
him.
the-
I love
He's
him.
the only one that said no.
I love
to
him.
it.
And it's not like we expect the PAB to, conducting investigations into every single complaint.
Oh,
They see
honey,
they're dealt with.
Medlock
It's
is a
just
piece of
crazy
work.
shit.
So yeah, he flipped like, oh,
Yes, Vanessa.
But if anytime he speaks, he's really
I think we need to
trying
find out what
pump
where they
himself
ended
up
now.
about
They
his
talked about the AG opinion, so
not
if
the
they get
community.
right.
that the AG opinion we got in Baltimore City is separate. So they're gonna ask them to come here. They said they're gonna talk about the allegations, see if they can speed up the process.
No, he was texting me. Yeah, we was. He said, Lord, I don't even know what to say. He was just
And
like, I'm
there's clearly a lot of confusion. There would have been if they read the letter, but all the information was there to answer these questions, and
you know, he was on the school board.
Yeah, I remember.
About that, he said, they said, thank you,
Yeah.
but you just gotta get going.
Where do you all go from here? What's next? Because I know the amendments are still and the bill's not out.
Mobilization. Mobilization.
We're not just going to lay down.
We're not going to just sit down and take this as mediocre. Mobilization, radical resistance. We're going to get to these polls and we're going to keep putting the information out there for every politician, for every council person on the district that is not in support or in compliant with what we, the people, demand.
Like Sheila said, there's some bodies out here because she contrasted us with Philadelphia. So we don't have.
We need the
The
grassroots
people.
out here to do it.
It's us, just us.
I don't think most of the community realizes that they're stakeholders.
They don't even
I think
realize
that's a
what
main
it
problem
is.
that we have. They don't feel they're impacted, and they really are. And guess what? As soon as that beast comes knocking at their door, guess who they gonna be crying to?
Somebody who's been there.
Bought to
Okay.
the lie of elitism, and we are gorgeous Prince Georges, and we're affluent, and we are fluently for, don't forgive me, shit.
As the man said, he serves the same God that we serve.
That's
Yeah, that pissed me off. Very pissed me off.
Oh yeah, he did
Because
say
he
that.
did.
That
Oh,
was
he
very
served the same
condescending.
God.
I didn't
So
like
which
that.
position do you think honors God the most?
So
That's what I would
what
want.
you said.
I said, which position do you think honors God the most?
Mhm.
What they're doing to the community, or what we're trying to do for the community?
Gatekeepers, they're
They
gatekeepers.
are gatekeepers. They are. They are.
Okay, you want to start talking about the God we serve? Okay.
And so, how many more William Greenes do we have to have? How many DeMonte Ward Blanks do we have to have? How many R.C. Elliott III do we have to have? How many Dots do we have to have?
Right.
How many Kivas do we have to have? How many Dons do we have to have? How many? I mean, just keep going in this millions. Like it just goes on and on and on and on. And like I said before, again, you talk about use of force complaints. How many young people or men of color do you really think have been assaulted, falsely charged, or harassed by PGPD? Hold on, let's talk about the ones that filed, but how about the ones that won't file? Guess why? Because those same officers are in your community, and you have to look at them every day. So you don't file because of fear of retaliation. And this is a perfect case in point. That's corruption. That's what corruption looks like, for real. That's what corruption looks like. So with that being said, I love all of y'all. I'm going to get them